Ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing everything here correctly. An Emory solo stream tonight. So let's just get right into it, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, we are having technical difficulties out the ass here tonight. Apparently, the stream feed was not going to my main channel for some reason, but here we are. That looks like something I'm gonna have to figure out afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Level Up Gaming Podcast, where we bitch about birds and we write manifestos on birds, deer, and any animals that we hate, as well as talking about gaming sometimes. I am your only host for tonight. I am G1 Emory. I forgot I'm soloing this out, so bear with me here. There we go. So, yeah, that is right. I am soloing this out tonight. Mr. Producer is sick, unfortunately. Brother, feel better. And we're going to bitch about deer next week. I apologize for the long intro. I am dual streaming this to my main channel. My channel, Emory Tonight, because I'm soloing it out, and I figured I haven't been live on my channel for a while, so being that it's just a me stream, I'm gonna do it. But then it turns out that feed was not going to the channel for some reason. Like, it just wasn't going over there. And I had to go in and I had to manually start it. And there have been technical difficulties out the ass here tonight. So, with that said, I'm going to dive into this shit the best I can because I don't have my co-host, and Gutsu wasn't available, unfortunately. So with that being said, I'm going to just go ahead and get right into it here. The following 3 games are available on Xbox Game Pass as of this week, March 24th through March 26th, as follows: Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Absolum, and Nova Roma. Pick those up if you're feeling extra gamey. And here's something that I thought was pretty interesting. The Xbox Series line of consoles is getting its first dashboard update in ages, with a quick resume upgrade included. So this is one of the first major dashboard updates in a very long time. Mainly focusing on customization and quality of life improvements. So the biggest change to this, though, is the quick resume feature. You can now turn it off for individual games, which helps avoid issues with titles that don't work well with the feature. Now, the update also expands personalization, letting players create more groups on the home screen, organize more easily, and customize the interface with more detailed color options. Overall, it is a relatively small but meaningful update that improves flexibility and user control rather than introducing major new features. And it looks like this is what it's starting to look like here. They moved the home menu over to the right. And here are all the groups that they're coming up with so far here. Color customization, quick resume, profile badge guides. What? That's an interesting one there. But here's the other thing. Coming out with Xbox tonight. Now, this is kind of a interesting talking point that I saw when I was getting the show ready earlier, as best as I could. Will Project Helix support physical games? Now, there's currently no confirmation on whether Project Helix will support physical media, but there are multiple possible approaches, which include a built-in disk drive or an optional external drive for backwards compatibility, or going fully digital. Now, Microsoft's ongoing shift towards a digital PC-like ecosystem makes a disk-free future seem more likely, but removing physical support could be a problem for players with existing disk libraries, such as the original Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. So a compromise like a detachable drive might seem a little bit more practical here, but overall, this is still kind of an open question about the future of Xbox and physical media. I don't see it supporting physical media, because at the end of the day, if all that's on the game discs are just like licenses or like key tokens to play the game, really, what's really the point in even including it at this point? You're already killing physical media without killing physical media. But speaking of killing things, PlayStation hardware will get AI-powered frame generation. Now, this is coming from PS5 architect Mark Kearney. Now, Sony has confirmed that AI-powered frame generation is going to be coming to future PlayStation hardware, but no specific console or release timing has been announced yet. Now, the technology would use machine learning to generate extra frames between rendered ones, improving smoothness and the performance. It's being developed alongside AMD and builds on the same tech behind the newer upscaling resolutions like PSSR, which we covered last week. However, it's not going to arrive soon, meaning that it may be aimed more at next gen hardware like a future PlayStation rather than current systems. Now, overall, it signals Sony's push towards AI driven graphic improvements, but details on when and where it'll appear are still unclear. Again, this is all AI slop at this point. We need to stop incorporating AI into shit. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. We need to stop relying on AI. Like, yeah, it's cool to make funny memes, and it's funny to, make stupid shit like birds and kangaroos. but incorporating it into things that we enjoy doing, like gaming, after a long day of work, just wanting to come home, kick your shit kickers off, get a shower, and play video games. Dude, I'm gonna quit incorporating AI into that shit. AI's just getting way out of hand at this point. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to get some water because it seems like I'm wall talking to myself. This feels weird doing the actual podcast without Mr. Producer here. I'm not used to doing this. So again, bear with me here. As I kind of go through the ringer here. Now, speaking of things going through the ringer here, EA has confirmed that Battlefield Hardline for the PS4 and Xbox One and PC multiplayer is officially shutting down. Now, for a little bit of context here, Battlefield Hardline multiplayer on the PS3 and Xbox 360 has shut down as of November 7th, 2024, although single player will still work on both. Now, the shutdown is part of a broader effort to retire older Battlefield titles on legacy consoles as support is shifting to the newer platforms. Now, PS4, Xbox One, and PC versions have been confirmed by EA to shut down as of June 22nd, 2026, with the game being delisted on May 22nd, 2026, 1 month prior. Single player, again, will still work. Now, essentially what this is phasing out aging console generation. Which it is sad, but you know what? It eventually does happen. It happens to the best, and there's not much we can do about it. So props to those Battlefield Hardline players who are still holding down the fort. Now, what else is holding down the fort here is another Overwatch potential tease here. Now, a recent Overwatch survey has suggested Blizzard is exploring potential crossover collaborations with a wide range of popular franchises, including Elden Ring and Resident Evil. Now, I emphasize here, the survey does not confirm anything in development. It's just gauging player interest with different crossovers, different ideas, with including both anime franchises and video game series. Now, overall, it hints that Blizzard is gonna, at some point, maybe continue expanding Overwatch's crossover content in the future, but none of these collaborations have been confirmed yet. Now, I believe we have reported before on some of these potential collaborations that did end up happening. So, hold out maybe, because they will come eventually. Now, speaking of things that are coming, why was that late? Oh my! Wow, we are having technical difficulties out the ass here, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. I don't have my producer. I don't have my co-host. I don't have my brother in arms here. I'm lonely. But you know what though? I think there is one thing we can do for him here right now. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it right here, right now. You're in our thoughts, Mr. Producer. Get better, bro. Now, speaking of things that are coming, the Flashpoint update for Arc Raiders is confirmed to launch on March 31st, 2026 across PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X as part of the game's escalation update cycle. Now, one of the headline changes is that the Shredder enemy, previously limited to certain locations, will now appear in additional areas like the Blue Gate with this update. Flashpoint brings new content, including a new arc threat, a lightning-based map condition, cosmetic items, and a quality of life improvement through details that are being finalized ahead of the patch. Now, community reactions shows that players are especially focused on how Shredders being added to new maps will change the gameplay. Overall, Flashpoint expands enemy encounters and introduces broader gameplay changes, with Shredders becoming a more widespread threat in the world. I think I know what I need to do at some point. I need to buy Arc Raiders because I still have not gotten yet to try it. So I know that is definitely something that I need to do. Now that we got a lot of these smaller articles out of the way here, now we're going to get into some major Nintendo news. We're going to kind of start off slow and build up here. So, Epic Mickey Rebrushed and Destroy All Humans has been announced for the Nintendo Switch 2. Destroy All Humans coming out June 23rd, 2026. Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed September 5th, 2026. Epic Mickey Refurbished October 6th, 2026. And SpongeBob Titans of the Tide has also been announced, coming out October 13th, 2026. Now, I remember Epic Mickey when I was younger. This was a fun game. I loved this game. Little 9-10-year-old Emory loved this game. This game is a childhood memory for me, and the fact that it's coming back, like, rare Nintendo W here. So, another thing that's happening here, actually, I will get up to that later. A new Nintendo Switch 2 system update has seemed to improve the game chat. According to My Nintendo News here, we're gonna watch this, or at least a small portion of this clip.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Steve. How are we?
It's so good to see you. Well, hear you.
You're just a big flapping burger right now.
Yeah, how could I not? You're a educated Waddle Dee.
Well, Steve, we're on Nintendo Switch firmware 22.0, and this has a brand new feature, which is crazy that wasn't here originally, where you can add people to the call while the call is going.
This feels like the most basic thing, and I think it's so funny because Nintendo drops...
Tell me this isn't Discord without telling me this is a Discord ripoff. Let's be so real. In this day and age, who isn't using Discord at this point? Now, it is nice to see that Nintendo finally has a game chat of sorts. You know, after how many years of not having one? Well, I mean, to be fair, Mario Kart 8 had one on the Wii U, but it was like literally just in the lobby waiting for the course, and that was it.
Probably one of the biggest features that no one was asking for in TV mode, in handheld mode for Switch 1 games, but then adds a feature that should have been here since the very beginning. We can actually use calls the way literally everyone on Earth expects calls to work.
Tell me this isn't Discord. Tell me this literally is. Tell me this isn't Discord.
Yeah, it is absolutely bizarre. But shall we add a Daniel Albert to the call?
Let's do that. Why don't you add him?
Do I have that capability? Let's see.
That's a good
What do I
question.
have here?
Can you add Daniel Alba to the call?
Oh, you know what? You know what? Let's see. Only the following users who were part of the chat session when it originally began can add other users to the session. So it looks like only you and Brandon could have. So I think this is in your hands.
Oh boy. Okay. Let me go ahead. I had to add Brandon because I couldn't start a call with no one. You can't just open a call and then add people to it later. You have to have at least one other person. So Brandon is here in spirit. But let me go ahead. So we go to Game Chat Audio. There's this new invite button. And then let's find Daniel.
Brandon's going to wake up in a daze just with a game chat invite calling from a Switch.
That's right. Let's see, where is Daniel? Where is Daniel?
It'd be nice if we could actually see it, but let me scroll up a little bit. Okay, so you can see him. You can see him sharing his camera in the bottom.
Has this improved things or made things worse?
You're now in the world of Zero, John. How does it feel?
I feel like a VTuber.
That's interesting. So I can see your game screen. If I choose to expand, I obviously just see that. But if I have to look at the little thumbnail to see your VTuber.
Yeah, literally tell me this isn't Discord.
Clearly even half as good as at this point.
But if I go down to
From a distance. It's enough
Okay,
for me
so
to
you
get
can see-
a good feel for
okay, so they could screen
what
share
is
their
happening.
games to their cameras while they're there.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, and again, tell me this is.
absolutely
Tell me
them,
this
John.
isn't Discord. But in seriousness, though, it does seem like there has been an improvement, at least to audio quality and video quality, so that's a plus. But in my opinion, just use Discord. But here we go. Nintendo Switch version 22.0 has added the handheld boost mode for Switch 1 games. Essentially what this update does is it upscales your games in handheld to 1080p. Here's the list of the full update here, if you would like to see it. Now, oh shit. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull that out. And I'm gonna bring that way over here. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I really gotta knock off my. I gotta knock that shit off. And I have to figure out what I have to figure out what I'm doing after the stream too, because I want to go live on my channel, but Beam stream is acting weird. Yeah, that's definitely something to figure out after I Okay, let's see. Let's see what that does. Okay, so that channel is down. Great, I gotta put that back up. There we go. We are officially live. We're finally live again on my channel. That's great. Sorry about that again, ladies and gentlemen. What else do we get? Yeah, so Nintendo Switch 2 handheld mode, handheld boost mode is great, but it does impact the battery life. So with that said, citing from my Nintendo news here, one Reddit user noticed that playing Doom 2019 on the Nintendo Switch 2 with handheld boost mode on gave them 3 hours and 43 minutes as opposed to the 5 hours and 5 minutes with handheld boost mode turned off. So if you're playing while traveling, it might be worth it to keep this in mind. But you do have to manually turn it on. So there is that. Tell me this isn't an overclock without telling me this isn't an overclock. Now, here is something concerning, and this, and this kind of goes hand in hand here, because I have an article from Kotaku open too. Basically, so what's going on here is the European Union has passed a new right to repair and battery regulations that starting in February 2027, portable electronics sold in the EU, in the European Union, have to have user replaceable batteries. Now, because the current Nintendo Switch 2 has a glued-in battery, Nintendo is reportedly planning a Switch hardware revision for the European Union market that will let users replace the console's internal battery themselves. Now, this change is intended to ensure the console complies with European Union rules. Now, this revised model may also include replaceable batteries in the Joy-Con 2 controllers. It is unclear whether it will be released outside of Europe. Now, overall, this is a potential shift towards better repairability for really any electronics in the European Union, driven by said regional laws that aim to reduce electronic waste and give consumers more control over their devices. And this I support. And I support this because right to repair is very important when you own your own electronics, and especially say something goes wrong and, you're not going to have, it could cost you upwards sometimes of $250 just to get a basic servicing and, battery change, maybe reapply thermal paste to any gaming console or even, a laptop for that matter. That's why right to repair is important, because if you have the right tools and you know what you're doing, you should be allowed to just go in there yourself without them saying, oh, well, you already opened it, so your warranty's just null and void. Fuck you, buddy. Yeah, fuck you, Phil. How about that? Like what that's going to do, that is going to drive your consumers to your competitors. Or just to PC in general. Right to repair, isn't a very big thing with Apple. Also not to mention the anti-consumer practices that Apple has really developed in the last 5 years. Hence why I made the jump over to Motorola for my smartphone. Well, dummy smartphone, kind of. Now, more on this Nintendo Switch 2 update here. Now, it removes over sharpening, and now on Xenoblade Chronicles 2 there is an anti-aliasing mode, which damn looks good. So it's good to see some games running pretty well, at least with this new feature. Now there is footage of what this looks like. Coming in from GVG.
Hey everyone, John here. And Nintendo Switch 2 firmware 22.0 is live. And this is perhaps the biggest firmware update we have ever had from any Nintendo console. There's changes to just general stuff, and game chat's a lot better too, but the core functionality is Boost Mode. This allows Switch 1 games running in handheld mode to basically use the docked properties, and so many games that were capped at 720p now boost all the way up to 1080p and utilize the entirety of the 1080p display of the Switch 2. Now, this is a big deal for a few reasons. First reason is Switch 2 had pretty poor scaling of Switch 1.
That does look really good. You could tell the difference there.
Games, where in handheld mode, basically everything.
You know, if only they would develop anti-aliasing or some sort of anti-aliasing mode for just it docked on the TV. But, you know, Daddy Nintendo, no. So there is that. And to kind of wrap up the gaming news portion of the podcast for tonight, this gaming PC here, this is yet the third or fourth gaming PC that we have showed off on the show that is actually like good for the value. So, you know, like the RAM apocalypse is still happening. That's no doubt. It's affecting GPUs. And let's be honest here, we're all sick of it to the point where people are just going to start buying pre-builts. And they're just going to upgrade them over time, you know, just to have something for right now. And this for value to the dollar and for the parts, it seems really good. So this is an AMD GPU rig. So, you know, that is the downside to it. But if you are an AMD fanboy, there you go. But it does include the 7800X3D in it. And it does offer where the hell? I just saw the RAM specs not that long ago. Let's see where it go. Oh shit, it went to Best Buy. Let me hold on. Okay, good. There's no location shower on it. So you're also getting 32 gigs of RAM, you know, which is about the standard for today's gaming. But you are getting 2 terabytes of an M.2 NVMe SSD, so that is a plus. So you're getting value to the dollar when it comes down to it here. So with that said, that kind of wraps up gaming news. You know, nothing really all that interesting to go over. Now I know that I'm still live on the Emory Tonight channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of solo it out and give the Emory Tonight vibes like I normally would. Wow, my YouTube feed is atrocious. And I'm logged into my channel. I have to switch over to Level Up. Okay, where... What the hell? Okay, I was looking in the wrong place. Duh. There we go. That's better. What see what Green Suigi has been up to. Anything really interesting? Not really. Just the same shit we watched before. Let's see if see if Neil's done anything with any Bonanza speed runs. No, nothing since Nothing since he did that one at that gaming event. Damn. I'm pretty sure there's something interesting I could find here. Okay, yep, we just found it. We just found it. Here we go.
Welcome back to some Super Mario 64 PC port. Today we're going to go through Wet Dry World and Tall Mountain and try to get both of those done in one video. But first, a question to you, my viewers. We've only got probably like maybe 2 more videos and this thing is done forever. So my question to you guys, answer me in the comments section, is what would you like to see me play next? If we're going to continue on with sort of a retro restoration vibe, we could do some Ocarina of Time, we could do some Banjo-Kazooie recomp, we could go through and play Quake 1 and Quake 2 with full ray tracing, or I've got like a Skyrim save with over 4,000 mods. We could do some Grand Theft Auto 4. I've got some nice Grand Theft Auto 4 stuff with full ray tracing and 4K textures. I'll put a little video clip up of that while I'm talking. There's so many things we could do, guys. We could do Half-Life with ray tracing. We could do Portal 1 or 2 with ray tracing. We could do some Oblivion Remastered with mods. We could do, if you want to go old school, one of my old favorites would be,
okay,
we could do the OG, really cool.
Skip a little bit.
It's up. We can shine with graphics mods. We could do Breath of the Wild with everything cranked up and ray tracing reshades, although it's not true full path tracing, but it kind of mimics ray tracing and it looks really good. We could do some Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 with enhancements. I could show you some of the beautiful Cyberpunk 2077 mods stuff I got. We could go old school mods, comps. If you guys have a different idea altogether, throw it out there in the comments section. If you guys like any of the ones I mentioned, let me know when we wrap it all up. But for now, let's go ahead and jump into Wet Dry World and get this started. All right, I have not played this level in a really long time.
Okay, this
guys,
looks really good.
Remember, there are switches everywhere
I
to
love
lower
this.
and raise the water. I don't really know where to begin, but I think I'll go ahead and start with this little switch down here that lowers the water, because I know that there are little secrets and that you have to have the water lowered to get some of those secrets in the sky, or whatever it's called, secrets in the sea and sky, or something like that. So let's go grab some secrets.
Okay, it's kind of a mind fuck hearing the original 64 or like 12 kilobit whatever audio with these nice graphics.
There's one over here. Okay, there's 3. I'll go ahead and collect some of these coins while I'm at it. Okay, I don't know if I remember where the other secrets are, guys.
Okay, no, I need to see, is there...
Okay, let's see.
What is this? Don't die under there now.
Give me that. Done. Now.
Okay, that's kind of cool that he modded that in.
There's the 100 coin star.
Here we go!
Now we've got to get the 8 red coins. There's 4. Come on, Mario. Alright, there's 6.
I want to see what Bomb Bomb Battlefield looks like.
Alright, now where is Tall Mountain? Because I do not remember. It's not this one, right? Is it this one? I think it might be this one.
Damn, he doesn't even have it in there.
Okay, guys, here we are in Tall Mountain, and I'm pretty sure there's a red coin hiding back here somewhere. If I'm not there. To carry us. Give me them coins. I think that's the monkey that tries to steal your hat, but I don't really think we need him. Oh my god.
The Goombas look really weird.
Oh, that was close.
Fucking cloud looks weird too.
Yeah. Scale the mountain. And then we're gonna grab this guy. Oh, let me go, you keep joke. So how about it? All right, you little scamp scram. I have to talk to him first, I think. All right, go do your thing, little monkey. I'm gonna go ahead and grab these coins too. And actually, I wonder if I can get... I'm just kind of curious. I know you're supposed to hit that switch over there and then jump on a little box, but I wonder if I can just... Okay, nope, I guess you can't. Oh, yes! It worked. Breathtaking view from the bridge is done.
Here we go!
I thought I would need to step on the switch for that one, but I guess not. That's cool. Now this is the monkey that takes your hat, so I don't want to mess with him. Okay, I need to start getting a red coin.
Okay, he died. Sad.
Here we go!
Blast to the lonely mushroom. Okay, I'm gonna jump down here and grab some of these coins. No. Oh, here we go. There it is. Oh, there's a coin. That's right there. Take those. What the hell? Oh my god, we're reverting back to the awful controls.
Okay, even this looks cool. Added all the stars and the moon and shit in background.
Oh man. Wait, is there a secret in here? No. Okay, just making sure.
Here we go!
Alright, now I just need to get the rest of the 100 coins, right?
Okay. This...
Alright, we got Tiny Huge Island, TikTok Clock, Rainbow Ride, and then we got Bowser in the Sky, and that's it. Well, complete the gamers, it's all part of the mod thing. I think they're like crystal stars or something, and then you fight Bowser again, and it's like crazy intense. I'm talking like Dark Souls Mario level of difficulty. When you fight like Crystal Bowser or something. I've only...
Okay, what else has this guy done? No way that that's a... No way that that's a machinima. Wow. This guy's been around for a long time. Okay, so there is more Super Mario 64.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to some Super Mario 64 PC port. And today, guys, we're going to take on Bowser for the first time. We're going to jump into Bowser in the Dark World.
Yeah, okay, this I
Red
want to see,
coin
but I want to
stars,
see
the
what
only one that you
Bob-omb
can
Field
get.
looks like, so I'm going to have to find it.
Here we go!
Yeah, Bowser in the Dark World. Let's go. Let's go take on Bowser. It's time. You and me, Bowser. Let's go.
Why did you have to texture him with his mouth open like that?
All right, let's do this. Oh my god. Okay, as you guys might notice here, it's a little bit different. Okay, here we go.
Okay, that's kind of cool. They added Cappy, like a Cappy mod. Although the Bowser looks really weird. Okay,
Hey,
now I want
everybody.
to see Bomb.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today we're
Okay,
going to
the
be playing
outside
some
of the
Super Mario
castle looks really
64
good, I'll give 'em
PC
that.
port. So this game was a pretty big part of my childhood, and so I decided to give it a fresh coat of paint and play through it again all the way, start to finish, collecting all the stars. So we got the Render 96 models, the Render 96 levels, the HD textures, the ray tracing, the Mario Odyssey moveset. We got all the things, and I thought I would run through it again. And if I'm going to be doing so, I thought I might as well record a video or videos, a series of videos for the like 2 people that are still watching my channel, the stragglers, the hangers on. So if that's you, if you're still out there, thanks for sticking around, and I hope you enjoy the show. So this is a fresh game, no stars, no coins collected, nothing. So let's get the first 2 right now. And then we'll kind of start with, I guess, Bob-omb Battlefield is what people typically start with. So let's run in here and get us some stars. And if any of you are new to this game, you know, I'm assuming most of you played this game in your childhood. It's kind of a nostalgic thing for you. But for any of you that maybe this is your first time to this, maybe you tried to play Super Mario 64, but it was so dated, maybe you'd be willing to try it with a fresh coat of paint like I am here, and you don't want me to skip all of the dialogue and things like that, let me know, because I'm assuming probably everybody's played through this, everybody knows the deal, doesn't want to read all the dialogue boxes. Like, take, for example, I just now skipped Koopa the Quick's dialogue box. If you don't know, basically we have to race him to the top of the mountain here, and then we get our first star, if I don't get hit by this chain chomp. Anyway, for those of you, like I was saying, that maybe never did play this game and actually are interested, and don't want me to skip the dialogue and things like that, let me know. You know, it's read-only dialogue boxes, obviously no voice acting, so you know it could be a little boring. I'm probably gonna skip it unless you guys tell me otherwise. But let's go ahead and run up here to the top of the mountain and get our first star in Bob-omb Battlefield.
Mario kind of runs like, I feel like he used a modern day running animation for him.
All right, so we made it to the top. So I'm gonna wait for that chump, Koopa the Quick, Koopa the Slow, more like, to get up here. And while I'm waiting, in the meantime, I'll go ahead and start getting this second star by defeating the Bob-omb King. You got to throw this guy a few times. And again, like I said, guys, let me know in the comments if you'd rather me not skip the dialogue boxes and things like that. Again, I'm just kind of assuming this is a pretty old game, so I mean, I don't feel the need to, you know, say spoiler alert or anything on that, and to try not to skip anything. But if you guys want me to not skip those things, let me know. Maybe you never played this before and you're interested to see all those things. I don't know. Just let me know. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy. I'll go ahead and I'll talk to Koopa and get our first star.
while I'm in the middle of a boss fight, I'll go ahead and talk to Koopa and collect my first star while I'm in the middle of this other boss fight with the Bob Bomb King. Sure, why not? Go ahead and take this guy out. I'm kind of curious what happens if you throw him all the way off the mountain. I don't remember. Surely I tried that as a kid, but man, it's been so long since I played this game. I really don't remember what happens.
Watch, there
or if I
might
did
be an
for sure.
invisible wall there.
I'm curious to try that. Let's see what happens if you throw him all the way off. There you go. Just get out of here. Oh, okay. Oh, the Bob Bomb King is very displeased. You must fight with honor. It is against the royal rules to throw the king out of the ring.
So
Okay. All right. So do I have to start over with the 3 throws, or I wonder if it still counts?
okay, but the
throws I
game
already
looks
got in.
amazing. Like you
I don't
can't
know.
say this doesn't look
We'll see.
amazing.
Okay. Just one. I'll go ahead and get this star.
Here we go!
Sorry, Bob Bomb King. Just I know we're in the middle of a boss fight here. Just give me a give me a second to go collect this star and talk to Koopa the Slow over here. All right, let's throw this guy again. There we go. All right, so again, guys, let me know if you don't want me to skip those. And then another thing I'm kind of still torn on that I don't really know about. So the new stars, they're green and they got these shiny little sparkly kind of particle effects coming off them, but you can still switch them back to the old school stars. And I'm not really sure. Let's see. I think it's under this. I'm not really sure which one I want to do. Go to, let's see, sparkly stars. I think it's under extras. Let's see. Colored stars. Here we go. So if you turn this off, it goes back to the default yellow gold stars. And, you know, one thing I do kind of like about these is with the ray tracing enabled, they do cast a light, a real-time light that casts real-time shadows around Mario as he runs around here, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so get the damn star.
The old school yellow gold stars that cast light and shadow with the ray tracing.
Okay, so the game actually looks really cool. I will give it that. But what I'm thinking right now in my mind is I think it's going to be a shorter episode than usual cuz I don't have Mr. Producer. I do not have Mr. Co-host. You know, things are kind of sag right now. But whenever the episode does end, I will be live over on my channel at Emory tonight. So you could always come over there, see me talk about a man and shit on the internet. What? A new massive glitch just broke the 1,000-year door. Okay, nope. Okay, maybe we're not.
10 years since the holy grail of Paper Mario, the 1,000-year door speedrunning was found. Palace Skip. It's a complicated trick that combines several unrelated glitches found by a trio of brilliant glitch hunters to achieve the game's biggest sequence break yet. Palace Skip eliminated chapters 4, 5, and most of 6 from the any% speedrun route, saving over an hour. It took years of effort to make Palace Skip a reality, and it remained one of the most intricate tricks in the run for nearly a decade. Now, in 2026, this is what Palace Skip looks like. This is Mario with zero hitbox. It allows Mario to clip through any corner in the game, and the glitch that made this effect possible completely broke any%. Since its discovery just a couple months ago, the new any% route now skips getting the Yoshi Kid partner in Chapter 3, who was previously needed for Palace Skip, and as a result, the world record has fallen by nearly 50 minutes. This is
Holy
by
shit.
far the biggest time save in the run since Palace Skip itself, and has rejuvenated runner activity over the past couple of months. But the crazy part is that this glitch isn't entirely new. Rather, it's a new application of a glitch previously seen as useless. Sometime in December 2021, the glitch hunter Solidified Gaming was watching a TTYD speedrun community clip compilation made by one of the top runners, Sherk. She was watching the video in a voice call with other friends, and while everyone was having a hoot and a holler, one particular clip caught her attention. In this clip, speedrunner Red2Go was attempting the double jump trick in the Rogueport sewers to skip needing Yoshi to enter Chapter 4. You jump with Mario, and while mid-jump, you enter a battle, where after fleeing the encounter, you have one frame to jump again while in midair. Red fled the battle, but something strange happened. The game crashed. This was really funny, but it also happened to be a type of crash that hadn't been investigated before. Solidified Gaming analyzed the crash reports and began to look deeper, and what she found was an interesting bug exclusive to the Japanese version. When Mario performs a spin jump, but it's interrupted by an action, such as initiating a first strike against an enemy, a function in the game's code will run. This function has different properties between the Japanese and international versions. To describe it in layman's terms, this function accesses the struct that contains all of Mario's data, including sound effect IDs that are passed onto another function.
Shit.
In the international releases, the sound
They
effect
went
IDs
balls
are
deep with
dedicated
this.
variables. On the Japanese release, however, the variables that hold these sound effect IDs are reused for many other things. A key difference that results in some unintended effects. Since this function, mot hit post, runs when Mario's spin jump is interrupted, it means that if you interrupt the spin jump on the same frame you start it, a value of 0 would be written to an unintended location in the game's memory. This is what likely happened to Red2Go. He initiated a spin jump on the same frame Koops landed a first strike. This wrote a value of 0 to an unknown place in memory, which caused the game to crash after he fled the battle. But what if you could overwrite a property in memory that would actually be advantageous? Well, this glitch could do exactly that. Arbitrary memory write. Wait, hold on. This isn't Ace. I swear, it's interesting. It's AMW, not Ace. And to be frank, it was kind of useless at first. The main way to trigger AMW is to cancel a spin jump on the frame it begins. One of the most accessible ways to achieve this is to spin jump next to a sign, which can be read in midair for some reason. Unfortunately, the values available from reading signs did not produce useful results, often writing to inconsequential locations in memory. One room that did show potential was a room in the Great Boggly Tree, where the results of AMW could be manipulated based on Mario's Z coordinate. At the time that part was understood, however, no one knew of any value worth overwriting at the time that would be useful in a speedrun. So for several years, nothing meaningful came from this discovery. But during that time, FlexiSpot sent me their C7 Morpher chair and paid me to advertise their product in this video. That being said, this chair rocks. For nearly
Okay, we're skipping over that shit.
2026, glitch hunter Zeffels lamented how close AMW was to a useful result. One of the possible locations in memory that could be overwritten was just 4 bytes away from being able to clear Mario's hitbox value to 0, which could result in some interesting new skips. But just minutes after sending that melancholic message in the TTYD speedrunning Discord, he had found a result that was truly groundbreaking. Zeffels found a new location to overwrite, a memory address that resulted in the same desired 0 hitbox effect when Mario unspins from paper mode. This was a huge lead, and soon after, Zeffels found a position in the Room of the Great Boggly Tree in Chapter 2 that met the conditions needed for the memory write for the 0 hitbox glitch. He used a hacked setup as a proof of concept to get Mario into the working coordinates, and had a fellow runner, Jake Bopdart, test to see if AMW worked on console. It did. The community wasted no time in search of a setup, which was easier said than done. As it turned out, the results of AMW were dependent on Mario's Z coordinate down to float precision. This meant that not only did they need to find a reliable method to cancel Mario's spin jump on the first frame, but it had to be in a very specific spot. As I mentioned before, while the signs were a free method to cancel the spin jump frame 1, the locations of the signs did not provide the Z coordinates needed for zero hitbox. Instead, you need to cancel the spin by entering a battle. You'd navigate Mario to this exact spot and wait. Wait for this lone X-Naut to wander over to this side of the room. Then, as he charges towards Mario, you'd have to time a frame-perfect spin jump to hit the X-Naut. However, even if you hit the frame-perfect spin, there is still a 50-50 chance that this trick fails. As it turns out, when using Mario's Z position for AMW, the trick will only work when Mario's render time is even. If it's odd, it does not. How fun. So,
I like the way he illustrated this. Just happy Mario for yay, it worked. And just bummed out Mario. No, it didn't work.
after fleeing from battle, assuming you did everything correctly and passed the 50-50 check, unspinning from paper mode will give Mario a hitbox value of 0 for that room. Even when you enter a new room, all you have to do to get 0 hitbox again is to unspin from paper mode. This even works across different save files, so long as you don't hard reset the console. With this newfound possibility to be able to clip through corners, Yoshi was no longer necessary for Palace Skip. Beforehand, runners would get Yoshi following a bit of a convoluted route. Chapter 1 would be completed, but afterwards, a trick known as Teleporter Room Early would be performed in the Rogueport sewers to access X-Naut Fortress early, a late-game area where enough progress would be made to bring the game to a Chapter 7 state before returning back to the teleporter. Afterwards, you'd grab the Ultra Hammer early in Rogueport, enter the Boggly Tree to grab the Super Boots to return the progression flags to Chapter 2, so then you could return to the sewers, use the Hazard Respawn glitch to access Poshley Heights in Chapter 6 early, store a jump glitch to beat Chapter 6, go get another jump storage from post-Chapter 6 email to skip getting the Blimp ticket to access Chapter 3, where you'd fight in the Glitz Pit up until you get Yoshi. All of that just to get Yoshi. And it was faster than completing Chapter 2 as intended. Afterwards, you'd buy the Power Rush badges you need for the endgame, clear the rest of Chapter 7 to access Chapter 8, perform Palace Skip, which required a random item drop to work, where 80% of the time, you'd lose a minute from not getting an item drop. But if you get that item drop and nail the trick, you then shred through the remaining boss fights and beat the game. But now, with 0 hitbox, that whole process has been eliminated. To perform Palace Skip now, you'd only need the Paper Mode Curse from Hooktail's Castle in Chapter 1, the Super Boots in Chapter 2 to perform the 0 hitbox AMW, and the necessary badges to have a chance against the gauntlet of endgame bosses. Needless to say, 2026 was about to be a very interesting year for TTYD. But don't get it twisted. Although Palace Skip was now free, activating the glitch that made it free was not. After a while, Zeffels did end up creating a working setup, but it was still a bit too difficult for runs, as it was reliant on precise control stick angles and 4-frame perfect pauses. But it was only a matter of time until an RTA viable setup would be made, and that someone would complete a run with 0 hitbox. But how long would that take? As it turned out, just a little over a week. On January 10th, 2026, Jake Bopdart would step up to the plate. He had been toying around with setups for AMW for a few days, and was finally ready to do runs with the new trick. His attempts were successful. On that day, Jake became the first person to beat TTYD without Yoshi, and after his initial run, which had mistakes in on-the-fly routing, he beat the world record by over 10 minutes. A few days later, on January 13th, Jake would be the first human to complete TTYD in under 2 hours. This run was notable for being the first to not defeat Hooktail and leave Chapter 1 incomplete. Instead, Jake opted to clip into Chapter 2 early after getting the paper mode curse in Hooktail's castle. This precise clip was known about for years, but hadn't been done in runs before since it's a one-way clip. But now, with zero hitbox, there was now a way to clip back out. Over the following weeks, Jake Bopdart, who had never held any main category world records before, found himself trading the world record with previous world record holders Kope, Sherk, and SwayNC. By the end of January, 8 people had beaten Thousand Year Door in under 2 hours, and the world record was approaching the 90-minute mark. The race for sub 130 was pretty close, but on January 16th, 2026, Kope would become the first person to beat TTYD in under an hour and a half. In the span of a month and a half, TTYD Any% was now faster than Paper Mario 64's Any% No Ace run, and bringing about the most competitive era the game had seen in years. The usual world record contenders, the rising stars, old faces, and even some new ones. Throughout February, many others would get sub 130s of their own, with 125 being the rough estimate for the current limit. However, one of these new world record contenders was about to lead this new TTYD revolution. Someone who had never speedran TTYD before 2026, but wasn't a complete stranger to the Paper Mario speedrunning scene. As one of the most decorated glitch hunters of the first game, the one and only Rain Shoes was about to shake things up. After Zeffels reached out to him to help set up scripts to find working setups for AMW, Rain took a greater interest in TTYD. Since then, he's helped optimize several tricks in the run, most notably creating more consistent setups for Teleporter Room early and Chapter 2 early. He subsequently picked up the run himself, and he got good. Like, really good. Despite only having ran the game for a month, Rain Shoes was more than sub 130 capable, and a world record contender. But what ended up getting him on the top of the leaderboard was a new trick of his own. A new setup for zero hitbox that completely eliminated Chapter 2 from the run. Compared to Any% before AMW, the new route felt very streamlined, with far less detours than before. But while a brief dip into Chapter 2 after Teleporter Room early to Super Boots and AMW is a much smaller detour than getting Yoshi in the old route, it is still a detour nonetheless. This detour to Chapter 2 also required you to perform Jabby Hive Skip, a pretty difficult and annoying trick. Was there another place to get zero hitbox that was less out of the way? Actually, no, I have a better question. Why is the switch in the X-Dot Fortress Factory Room hit during a speedrun? No, seriously, I want to know. Or rather, on February 22nd, TTYD challenge runner Dark Koopa Troll wanted to know, and asked this question in the Discord. The reason was that it prevents a crash that occurs when opening the door when the conveyor belt isn't activated, which is what the switch turns on. But what was the cause of the crash? Well, it relates to the conveyor belt sound, and how when you exit the room when its sequence is set to a certain value, the room script tries to turn off that sound. This sound is then stored in a place we'll call GW11. But if the sound isn't playing because the conveyor belt was never activated, the game uses whatever value happens to be in GW11 at the time, which often leads to a crash. That's right, it's another instance of AMW. After several days of testing, on March 1st, Rain Shoes posted a new AMW setup done in the elevator room in Chapter 7. The first part of the setup focuses on getting the correct value written to GW11. This would take place before returning to Chapter 7, where you save outside the Rogue Port Inn, reset the game, wait for the book to appear in the opening before skipping to the title screen, reloading your save, going to East Rogue Port and then back outside to the inn, and then hammer outside of the inn 20 times. This sets GW11 to the correct value, and just so happens to be during the part of the run where you're heading through the inn anyways to the badge shop, so it's not a significant detour at all. Then, after returning to Chapter 7 and progressing to the factory room, you'd get zero hitbox by getting into a precise Z coordinate next to this door to the left. Enter paper mode by holding R, release R and then pause at the same time to instantly unspin, and then open the door on a specific frame after unspinning from paper mode. It was still frame perfect, but the setup Rain created had consistent visual cues, and you didn't have to rely on enemies to run over and react to them on the fly. This cut out Chapter 2 entirely from the run, and even though it made the final bosses slightly trickier without super boots, it still saved several minutes. With this new AMW setup, Rain not only got his sub 130, but managed to set a new world record of 127.49, which, as of the time of this video, is the current Paper Mario Thousand Year Door any percent world record. But
Oh shit.
there is one detail I forgot to mention. The any percent leaderboard has been split. When you visit the TTYDspeedrun.com page, you'll see that the any percent leaderboard is now divided into two subcategories: no AMW, which is the default, and unrestricted, which is the new route. This split was made almost immediately after Jake completed his first AMW runs, since Zero Hitbox fundamentally changed how you could trivialize some major sequence breaks. This by itself is not uncommon for a speedrun to do when a major skip is found, especially if it's a particularly difficult trick that increases the run's barrier of entry. Interestingly enough, any percent is the only category on the main leaderboard to have this split, at least for now. 2 months after the fact, and the no AMW version of any percent has seen no activity, while unrestricted has been seeing a lot of activity. Unsurprising considering the continued developments of strats, but it does make you wonder, was this decision to split any percent premature? Should unrestricted be the default instead? It's a bit early to tell, as both routes are quite different, but I do wonder if enough time will pass where AMW becomes the new norm, and the categories are merged, or if most categories will separate based on no AMW and AMW variants. Who knows? AMW does feel a lot less extreme than big glitch discoveries I've seen in other speedruns though, and to me,